What's up, guys? In this video, somebody asked me to answer the question, is going to college worth it these days? And I think that's an interesting topic. I'd like to give my opinion on it. Should you take my opinion seriously? Should you listen to what I have to say and do what I tell you to do? Maybe, probably not. But I'm gonna give my opinion anyway because that's just how I roll. So, should you go to college? I don't think you should. Bottom line, you could turn off the video now, 30 seconds in, but I don't think that college affords the same benefits that it did, 50 years ago or whenever going to college was actually worth it. I don't think it's worth it for everyone anymore. I think if you want to go to learn like computer science or engineering or, medicine or something, or law, or like an actual useful, subject that requires some sort of licensing for you to actually do anything with. Like I said, like law or medicine or engineering. I guess you don't need a license for engineering, but you know what I'm saying? Like in engineering, at least you're gonna learn practical things that you can apply in a very well-paying job at 22 years old. Whereas other majors like psychology, philosophy, my major, history, all these other things that unless you're going to specialize in those for your career, there's really no point because those jobs don't pay very well and those jobs honestly don't even exist. So I don't think college is worth it for most people, okay? Again, like I said, if you're gonna go for one of those reasons, I think it's okay. I think there's also some benefit to studying business in college, even though, if you get a degree in business, that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll make a lot of money, but at least you're kind of in the right ballpark, as opposed to somebody who learns something that is not gonna help them make any money at all, ever, arguably, compared to business or one of those other things that I mentioned. So if you don't go to college, what should you do? I guess is the better question. And I think you have a few options, right? I'm going to talk mainly like advice to guys, although I guess this is kind of applicable to girls. Girls, I don't really include in these recommendations because you guys always kind of have the opt-out strategy of I'm going to get married and have kids, or I'm going to have kids, or I'm going to get married, or I'm going to look for a sugar daddy or something like that. No offense to anybody, but you guys always have that option. And as guys, we don't have that option. So if you are a guy and you don't know what to do and you're thinking, should I go to college? Should I not go to college? Don't let me talk you out of it. There's a lot of perks to going, like fraternity life and stuff like that. But if you're not going to do that, bottom line, I think there are three good choices for most guys. Number one, I think, is the military. I think is a very good choice. I don't know what country you live in, whoever is watching this, but the United States, I think it's a great choice. If you don't know what you're going to do and you don't have any other options and you're just kind of scratching your head and you don't have the option to go to a really good school, it's a really good four-year school. Like if you have the option to go to Harvard, yeah, okay, go to Harvard, but if you're going to go to fucking Pomona State University in the middle of nowhere, you can skip it. So the first thing, like I said, is join the military. I think the main benefit of the military is that it teaches you how to suffer for extended periods of time, which is going to be very useful to a lot of people who grow up in a very comfortable society like the United States. I remember I was in the Israeli army, not exactly, well, it's different than the American army. American army is a little bit more comfortable, but anyway, they're all shit. I remember when I came back to America and I would talk to people who hadn't been in, they just seemed like they were concerned with such they just got easily bent out of shape about dumb shit. Now, I'm also kind of like that now because I've been out for a very long time, but at least I have those couple of years of references of very long periods of extended suffering. It's also very physically challenging. When you finish, you feel really good about yourself and you have this kind of high of confidence that you can use to carry you into other things. But you need to take advantage of that because a lot of people end up joining the military and then when they get out, they're just kind of lost, right? Everybody's kind of lost to a little bit of a degree because you've been in this very regimented lifestyle for so long. And then when you get out, you're okay, you can do whatever you want now. And you're just well, the only time that I've had free time has been, on my odd day off or leave or whatever. And I just get trashed and hang out and watch movies. So, it's hard to kind of transition into something more productive. Anyway, that's one of the things that I think you could do. I can make a lot of videos about that, but that's in general, I think it's very good for people, especially who don't have any other options. The next thing that I think is really good, again, for people who don't I don't want to say who don't have any other options, but for people who like, I don't know, I guess this advice is really just for people who are going to possibly study something in liberal arts and are not like, they just don't, there's no way to easily make money from it like the other majors that I mentioned. And that is to get a sales job. Get some sort of sales job and start learning how to sell. Start to learn the process of sales, because it is a process. And like, spoiler alert, what is a process of sales is basically like, and I'm talking about cold sales here, which is arguably the hardest kind, and therefore will help you build the most diverse skill set that can actually be used in everyday life as well. So that's basically the reason why I think learning sales is good, is because it will actually teach you something that you can use in literally every single conversation that you have with another person. You can learn, you can apply the same kind of template of conversation to like get what you want. Obviously not in every single conversation with somebody you're gonna like have this like secret desire, like, haha, how can I get what I want from this? But in situations where you need a specific outcome, you can apply this like mentality and it'll help you get that. Obviously it doesn't work every single time, and sales jobs are inherently stressful, but they will definitely help you build character, and it'll just kind of change the way that you see like the potential in life. When you understand sales and you kind of like get good, or you get to a certain level, the whole world just kind of feels open to you. You feel like pretty much anything is possible as long as you talk to enough people, which is kind of true, because sales, like as they say, is a numbers game. But regardless of whether or not it's a numbers game, it's still, I think, beneficial to go through the process of learning in order to like organically arrive at those conclusions, and not just like try and absorb them mentally through some guy talking to you in a video. So that's the second thing. And the third thing, I guess, is just do whatever you want. Like if you want to be a musician, even though I think, I don't know, whatever, I think it's kind of a waste of time to like be a professional musician, but whatever, if that's what you want to do, go do it. You want to be an actor, go be an actor. Whatever you have this like inner desire to do, just go do it. There's no, I feel like a lot, and this happened to me too, right? I was, fucking, what's like the whole thing millennials complain about is they say, oh, like they told us going to college would be really useful and we get a good job, and they just like really hammered us in college forever. And then meanwhile, you went to college, you didn't learn shit, and then you got out, you couldn't get a job, you're broke, and it's like, wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to go down this other track, right? Summed up in 10 seconds. That's like the gripe of the millennial generation. Okay, we're dealing with it, but like that was our challenge, right? Zoomers, you guys have a different challenge, I'm sure. I don't know, what is it like? You got shamed on social media and had to delete your Snapchat. I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's possible, but anyway, just do whatever you want, right? Like, again, like I said, this is really coming from somebody who grew up at a time where they said like, don't just do whatever you want. Don't just do whatever you want, because if you do that, you'll be broke and you'll hate your life, and like you won't have this magical college degree that'll give you everything that you want in life. And we're like, okay, we don't want that. Okay, writing essays and all this dumb shit. But so like we're overcompensating, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But still, if you have something specific that you want to do and you're like torn inside that you're like, oh, I really want to do this one thing, but my family wants me to do this, and like I'm getting all this pressure to do this other thing, just do whatever you want. It's hard to kind of make that decision, but once you do it enough times, because your family's kind of expecting you to do that anyway, depending on the culture. Most cultures it's like that, but your family's already, I think at least, kind of waiting for the day where you're just like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna do whatever I want, because that's when you've like arguably begun the final stage of maturity, right? In the sense of like not a child anymore, now you're an adult. Obviously there's multiple stages of maturity in adulthood also, whatever. Anyway, everyone's kind of waiting for that moment, right? They're kind of like, because it happens to everybody to a certain extent, right? At the end of the day, like people are people, and I don't care how much control you have over another person, eventually they're going to put their foot down and say like, fuck you, like blocking your number or whatever. So, you can do it. It's okay, is basically the point that I'm trying to make. And like, it's easy to say this because when you get a little older, you like go through some shit and you realize the world's not going to end if you lose your job, or, your fucking mom is mad at you or something like that. But, you just kind of have to take that first leap of faith and just trust that everything is going to be okay. And like worst case scenario, whatever, If you're 17, 18, you're 19, 20, 25, 30, whatever, like you make a choice, you try something, it doesn't work, you learn from it, and then you fucking try something else or you try again. It's really not that big a deal once you see things like that. And the more things you try, the more the more knowledge you'll gather, even if it's a very shallow level of knowledge. Cool? I feel like that was an interesting video. So those are my 3 tips for what you should do if you don't go to college and whether or not college is worth it. Again, I guess like summary, if you have the option to go to a really prestigious school and it would be like a huge or unique school or something like that and be a huge win for you to go there, go there. If you're going to study STEM or business or something very specific that you want to do something with that subject for the rest of your life, then go study that. That's fine. Other than that, oh, and I guess like honorable mention number 4 is like if you want to go learn a trade, right? I think trades are boring as fuck. That's just me. I'm not very like, you know, whatever, give me the screwdriver, I can use it and read the directions, but I'm not like at home on the weekends fucking building benches and shit. I just don't care. But if you're into that kind of thing and you want to go do that and you want to fix doors and fucking, I don't know, whatever the fuck you guys do, like go ahead, learn that shit, learn a trade, learn something. It's good money, it's stable, it's consistent, and you'll pretty much always have a job and you can get a job anywhere in the world. Although you could kind of say that for anything once you get good at it. That's the summary. I don't feel like going over everything else. Let me know if you thought that was useful. If you didn't think it was useful, just say what's up in the comments. Peace.